Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and sewing these jumpsuits that you can see on your screen. So in my last tutorial, we drafted out the pattern for these jumpsuits. In case you've not seen the pattern drafting tutorial, I'll be leaving the link in the comment section. So go ahead and watch it before you come join us on this particular one. Is going to help you understand better. So after drafting the pants, I went ahead to cut. So this is the front. I added extra 1 inch that I'll be using to join the crotch area, and this is the back. I went ahead to cut it out exactly as it is. So next thing you do is to transfer your dart to the other side. Remember, we took the dart for just one side, so transfer it to the other side. Now I'll be adding a pocket to this jumpsuit, so I'll be cutting out the pocket and folding my fabric into 4. That's because we'll be needing 4 of these for the pocket area. So what I'll do is to spread my hand on the fabric and I'll cut it out exactly like this. So I'm spreading my hand because I want my hand to be able to go through the pocket. The length of this pocket is 9 inches as you can see, and I have 4 pieces here. The next thing I did was to transfer my pattern paper to my fabric. So I added half an inch on the neckline area. I did not add half an inch to the shoulder area because I didn't want it to gape on the shoulder area. On the side I added half an inch, but I ended up trimming it out. So I'm not supposed to add anything there because I already added my stitching allowance. On the armhole area I added half an inch. So you add on the neckline, you add on the armhole area. We already added on the base, so there's no need for that. So make sure you're cutting on fold. The front piece is on fold. I also went ahead to cut out my lining piece. So what I'll do now is to place the main fabric and the lining piece right sides facing right sides. As you can, I'm going to pin all the way around, and I'll head over to my sewing machine to sew all the sides close. So we'll not be taking that because we already closed the dart on the pattern paper. So you're going to sew the neckline, the shoulder to give it a neat finishing, the armhole area and the sides. So this is the back piece. I went ahead to open up the dart area. As you can see, I've also gone ahead to cut out the lining piece also. The only place I added allowance was the neckline and the armhole area. I didn't add to the shoulder area because I didn't want it to gape. So after taking out my pattern paper, I have 4 pieces, 2 main piece and 2 lining piece. You can see that I slashed through the dart area, so it's easy for me to take in my dart. So what I'll do is to fold my fabric into 2. I already notched the place I'll be taking the dart, so I'll just sew it like this. I'll repeat the same thing for the 4 fabric, that is the 2 lining piece and the 2 main fabric. After sewing the dart in place, now I'm going to place my lining on the main fabric, right sides facing right side, and I'm going to start pinning. So you take your dart first before you pin them together. You sew all the sides and turn everything inside out through the base. So this is the pants. I've gone ahead to sew the crotch area closed. I've also gone ahead to take in the darts. Now we're going to attach the pockets. I'll go down by 1.5 inches. You can do 1 inch, but I'm going down by 1.5 inches. I'm going to notch that point. This is the point where I'm going to place my pockets. So after notching, I'm going to open the fabric up and I'm going to place the fabric and the pocket right sides facing right side, as you can see. So once you place it, you use your pins to hold it down on this end. Remember, we have 4 pockets, so we'll be using 2 for the front and 2 for the back. After pinning to this side, I'll pin this other pocket to the other side like this. So once you do that, you're going to stitch on it. You sew the pocket and the main fabric together using about half an inch. So this is the back part of the pants. So I'll also go down by 1.5 inches and I'll pin my pockets in place. So once you do that, you're going to also sew the crotch area. So from the waist area, make sure you're using a loose stitch, like a gather stitch, because we are going to be opening the waist area soon. So just the waist area, you can use a gather stitch and then figure out where you want your zipper to stop. Okay, so then taking the dart also, I've sewn the front and the lining together, and this is what it looks like. I've also gone ahead to do the same thing for the back, and I ironed everything flat. I also ironed the zipper allowance so it's easy for me to sew my zipper. Okay, so this is the back. I'll bring the back of the I'll bring the pants, sorry. I've gone ahead to stitch the pockets in place, and I've also taken in the dart and I've sewn the crotch area. So on the waist area of the crotch, I used a gather stitch. So what I'll do is to open it up a little for now, okay, and I'm going to now arrange the upper bodies on it. Then you're going to place them right sides facing right side and pin. I'll pin on this end. I'll also pin the other one to the other end. After doing that, I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to sew. After sewing the waist area, go ahead and fix your zipper to the back. So for the front, what I'll do is to fold my upper bodies into two, and I'll notch the center. After doing that, I'll bring the pant area. Okay, the center of the pant is where I already joined my crotch, so I'm going to place them right sides facing right side. So make sure the center notch is touching the stitch that you have on the center of the pants, and then I'm going to pin all the way. After pinning, I'll head over to my sewing machine to sew using about half an inch. So I've sewn my zipper in place at the back. So you're going to figure out how long you want your zipper to be at the back. Okay, I've gone ahead to sew the zipper in place, and this is the front. I've also gone ahead to sew the upper bodies and the lower bodies together. So what I'll do now is to pin both of them right sides facing right side. I'll start from the shoulder. I'll pin the shoulder in place, and then I'll pin the armhole area in place, and then I'll pin the sides. So after doing that, I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to sew the shoulder. Then I'll use my stitching allowance to sew the side. I'll sew around the pockets. Okay, I'm using my hand to like show you guys where you're supposed to sew. Then sew the side first, sew around the pocket, then finish it up on the side all the way to the end, and repeat the same thing for the other side. After sewing the sides, the pocket, the shoulder area, this is what I have. So the next place to sew is the crotch area. So you are going to pin them like this. Make sure the stitch you have on both crotch area is matching. Then you're going to use your pins to hold everything down. After doing that, I'll head over to my sewing machine to sew all the way to the end, from this end, and also from the middle also to the other end. After sewing the crotch area, I went ahead to turn everything inside out, and this is what I have. This is what it looks like. So the next thing we'll do now is to hem the base. If you don't want to hem, you can use your hemming gum to just iron it to give it that neat finishing, and you're going to give your jumpsuit a good press. And yeah, that is all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like this video. Leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.